Hi, everyone. So today we are going to look at the mileage feature in QuickBooks Online. We'll walk through the setup as well as look at how to operate the feature, how to track your mileage, how to classify trips as business or personal, and how that translates as far as your mileage deduction for either your business or if you're an independent contractor. So the first thing you're going to need to do, of course, is have a QuickBooks subscription, a QuickBooks Online subscription, and you are going to need to download the QuickBooks Online app to your mobile phone. It's available either in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. So once you log into the mobile app, here is what the dashboard is going to look like. Now, for the mileage feature, I'm just going to click on Menu in the bottom right hand corner, and it'll bring up all my shortcuts. We're, of course, going to be looking at mileage today, so we want to select mileage. And so I've already set this up. When you initially set it up, it is going to take you step by step. You, of course, are going to have to enable your location in order to track your mileage because the app does use GPS technology to be able to track it. And so I'm going to go ahead and give the app permission to track my mileage. And so, a couple of things I wanted to point out. You're either going to be able to auto track, as you can see, I had auto tracking enabled. So, with auto tracking, QuickBooks is going to automatically track every single trip you take. And so that way you're not in danger of missing any mileage deductions. You do not have to enable auto tracking. If you turn it off, then you can always add a trip manually. So you would just need to remember to track a trip by selecting track a trip. And when you leave to begin your trip, you're just going to click on the start button. And once you reach your designation, you would click on the stop button. So that would be how you manually track your trips. I would never remember to do that. And so I would, for myself, enable the auto tracking. Now, it is going to be more of a drain on your phone battery, but again, you're going to have a more accurate picture of your mileage. So let's look at the settings that you will need to enable and set up for your app to work appropriately. If you click on the three vertical dots in the upper right-hand corner of your app, you have options to go to your settings. Intuit account and settings, you're going to select that option. And we're going to scroll down until we get to our mileage settings. So you can see there are 4 different settings underneath the mileage category. So let's go ahead and click on the first one. So, of course, we need to enable GPS. Location permissions are on. My physical activity permissions are on. And battery optimization, right now it's on. If you want for your QuickBooks to be able to track your mileage all the time, track all your trips, then you're going to have to turn off that battery optimization. Mileage tracking is on. So again, I've already set up this feature in my app, but when you initially set up, you're going to be walked through all of these options step by step, and you'll be able to set them up. Okay. Then, of course, you have the options to enhance your GPS by boosting location accuracy. That is not going to be necessary. And there is a video here to show you how to enable the auto tracking feature. So let's go back to that mileage section. You can manage your favorite locations. So if you click on that, you can add locations. So I'm going to add my home address. And of course, this will be redacted in the video. And I'm going to label it. I put in my address and I'm going to label it as home, and I'm going to add it and save. And then I can repeat that information. I am also going to enter my office address and add it and save. All right. And of course, if you have certain locations that you frequently drive to, you can add those locations. So back to that mileage section, you can manage mileage rules. So let's look at what that looks like. I'm going to create a new rule, and I am going to tell QuickBooks that when I go from my home, which is listed under favorite locations, I just started typing in home, it comes up, I can select it. So when my starting point is home and my ending point is office, I'm just going to click or start typing office. I want to always mark that or categorize that as business mileage. Okay. And I personally, when I go to my office, I am always meeting with a client. And so I can set that as the business purpose and save. And then this last section under the mileage section is you are able to add a vehicle. Now, I already have my primary vehicle that I previously added, but if you drive more than one vehicle as a business owner or 1099 independent contractor, then you can add those vehicles here. So you would just put, I'm just going to put test vehicle, but you would want to include the make and model, year of the vehicle, and then you would tell QuickBooks whether you own or lease the vehicle and whether or not you want to set it up as your primary vehicle and save. And so those are the settings under that mileage tab that you'll need to look at to make sure that your app is accurate, and you are going to have to do as little as possible when it comes to categorizing and just aggregating that mileage data at tax time. So let's go back into the app. So again, I have enabled auto tracking. I showed you how to, if you did not want auto tracking on all the time, how to track an individual trip. Also, if you took a trip and say you left your cell phone at home, that trip's not going to be tracked. So what you're able to do is actually manually add that trip by clicking on this plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can add the address of your starting point and then add the address of your ending point. You can even input the distance, and you can designate it as business or personal and save. And so that is how you would enter information for a trip where it wasn't tracked at all by QuickBooks. All right. And so once you take your trips, they are all going to load here in the dashboard under your mileage tab. So you can see here all of my most recent trips are here. And so what you have to do from here is designate each trip as business or personal. And so what happens is all you have to do is swipe, right? If your trip was personal, you're just going to swipe right. If it was a business trip, you're just going to swipe left. Now you see when we selected that business trip as the category, then it opens up another window. It wants us to describe what the purpose of the business trip was. So I'm just going to designate that I was picking up supplies for my business. And now you can see that trip is no longer in the dashboard. It has been categorized. If we come up here, just under mileage, you can see that 2024 potential business deductions. It gives us the number of categorized business miles as well as the value of the business mileage deduction that we can look forward to claiming on our taxes. And that is pretty much it. For the second part of this video, I'm going to hop on the computer really quickly and show you how the information looks on your desktop or your laptop if you want to work with it from there. But you will need to download the app and track your mileage on the app if you're wanting to use that GPS technology and auto track your trips. All right, so now we have hopped over into the laptop version of our QuickBooks Online account, and I just want to show you what your mileage information looks like in QuickBooks Online when you're using your laptop after the information has migrated over from your QuickBooks Online mileage app. All right, so you're going to, of course, log into your QBO online on your desktop or laptop. You want to scroll down to expenses and select mileage. All right, and so now you can see you are able to see your mileage information for each year, and you can go back for as long as you have mileage information. Absolute transparency. I have just recently downloaded the mileage tracker. So I am new to using the mileage tracker, as some of you are also. Another feature that you have here, just like in the mobile app, you have the option to add a trip. So you see here when we click on that option, we will include the trip date. You can put the distance, your starting address, ending address. We can categorize it as business or personal. We can designate a business purpose, and we can designate a vehicle. Um, you can also click or select round trip. That is going to create two entries. So you only have to enter the information once, but QuickBooks will calculate the round trip mileage. So I'm going to back out of that because we're not going to enter a trip at this time. Now, if you click on this drop down menu, the add trip drop down menu, you're going to see some similarities between the desktop or laptop version and the app. You have the manage vehicles feature, which will allow you to add additional vehicles. Again, if you drive more than one vehicle related to your business, you can import trips. Now, if you have the Mile IQ app that is compatible with QuickBooks, and so you are able to import your information from Mile IQ, or you can import any trips that did not convert or carry over from your QuickBooks app. You're able to import those trips. Another section of that add trip drop down menu, you can download trips. And so that's going to give you a CSV version of, basically it's a mileage report. It's your mileage log. So I think that's really a nice feature. I want to expand everything for with all these addresses here, but you can see that your mileage log has every trip that you would have taken, including dates, your deduction amounts, your distance that was driven, and it tells whether we manually entered the mileage or if it was auto tracked. This is a good feature just in case of an audit, IRS audit for tax time. You have your backup documentation that verifies that you did, in fact, or that you are, in fact, entitled to those mileage deductions. You can download company trips. You can manage your locations. So here we see that my office and home locations are there. We can add additional locations if need be, and we can manage our mileage rules from here. So again, some of those features are duplicated in the app and in QBO desktop or laptop version. And so you'll see here, it shows us the potential deduction that we have in total so far. And you'll remember when we categorize the business trips in the apps, that's how that information is calculated. Business mileage rate is 67 cents per mile for 2024. And you can see here our two vehicles that we are using for business purposes. And so you can scroll down. All of your trips are going to show down in this section. You have your unreviewed trips. These are trips that still need to be categorized as business or personal. And then, of course, you click on the business tab and it will show all of your business trips. And if I click on the personal tab, it will show all of my personal trips, and click on all to see everything. Okay. You can filter your trips by vehicle. You can filter your trips by type. So that would be to meet client, to pick up supplies. You can filter your trips by all of those different categories. So you can see the app you are using mainly to collect the information. Of course, you can categorize in the app, but then if you wanted to do more of an analysis, or give your tax person access to the information, here's where you would do it in the laptop or desktop version of QuickBooks Online. So guys, I hope that this tutorial was helpful. Please comment and let me know if it was, or if you would want more tutorials as far as features in QuickBooks or how to use your QuickBooks online. By the way, QuickBooks does have a sale in effect, and it is going to be in effect until July 29th of 2024. And QuickBooks is 70% off for 3 months. So if you were thinking about maybe getting QuickBooks, but you weren't sure, you just want to try it out and see if it's going to be a good fit for you, now is the perfect time. You can get it at that really low price. And if it's not for you, then you can always cancel your subscription prior to those 3 months being up. All right, guys, as always, this is Tasha with West Financial Services LLC. Follow us for more tax strategies and financial education for individuals and small businesses.